In the United States, what should you never do? Story 1. Make the assumption that you know the law. Our local laws change drastically from state to state. If you buy weed, for example, it may be illegal to drive 10 miles west into another state. There is no may about it. Since marijuana is still illegal on the federal level, transporting any amount of THC, even medicinally marketed packages, is a felony. Transporting any controlled substance across state lines carries a minimum of 5-year sentence and a nice little trafficking badge on your record. Story 2. I thought this was an obvious one, but my German exchange student would very casually walk on through people's property, even going so far as to walk up to their houses in the middle of the night. This is a huge no-no unless you need help. Just casually walking around on people's properties would make them think you are looking to rob the place. When I was a senior in high school, there was a German foreign exchange student named Benedict. He was staying with the family of one of my friends. On his first day there, he walked into an upperclassman lunchroom and sat down, pulled out his bagged lunch, pulls a beer out of the bag and just casually starts drinking it. Everyone went apeshit and a teacher came over and made him give up the beer. Evidently, his host mom told him his lunch was in the fridge and to grab a drink too, so he grabbed a beer. Story 3. Don't try to cheat the IRS. They will fuck your life into oblivion. Do not intentionally cheat or run away. My dad filed wrong for years, ended up paying a massive debt. When he was told, he set up a meeting to see his options. They saw how much he made and they laughed. He said they could never pay it off and canceled his debt. Never run. Just face it and you are likely to be fine. I have never done anything tax-related wrong on purpose, but I have made small errors in filing a couple times over the years. In both cases, the IRS reached out to me a year or two after the fact, and we quickly resolved the issues. Both times it was some silly mistake. They accepted my explanation as the truth, and there was no penalty. I was asked to pay what I owed with a few dollars of added interest, and that was it. Overall, they were very professional and easy to work with. Story 4. Assume personal space distance is the same as your country. Depends on where you come from, but Americans are stereotyped as being used to more personal space than some other countries. Our Russian foreign exchange students was kind of weirded out by how far people stand apart at bus stops, etc., and was a little hurt after people scooched away from him on the bus, in class, etc., because, hey, we're all friends here, so let's be breathing the same air. And then there's Scandinavians, who can't fathom why Americans get so close to each other. Story 5. Don't try to bribe cops when you get pulled over. I had some Argentinian friends immediately pull out their wallets and start pulling their cash when they got pulled over once. Fortunately, someone in the car noticed and told them to put it away immediately. Not just bribery. Apparently, in some countries, if you get a ticket for something, you can actually just pay the fine to the police officer on the spot. NFL kicker and Raiders legend Sebastian Janikowski was arrested and almost deported back to Poland for trying to bribe a police officer, until he convinced the court that he just thought that's how it legitimately works. It works here in the States, some places too. Got pulled over for speeding in NM coming home from snowboarding, and Tri-Cop said, "We could pay right then on the spot or spend the weekend in jail waiting for a judge." He gave us a receipt, so I assume it was actually legal and not the fucking highway robbery it felt like. Story 6. Walk up to a cop car when they pull you over. Story 7. Usually, you should never openly drink alcohol in a public space, such as the right-of-way, a park, etc. It's illegal here, and getting arrested will really harsh your buzz. Not that people don't get around this by using water jugs or other opaque containers, but it might be an unpleasant surprise if you're used to more liberal drinking laws. Laughs a New Orleanian. We also have drive-through services for alcohol served in styrofoam cups with a plastic lid, as long as the straw they also give you isn't piercing the lid into the cup, not an open container, lol. But yeah, probably most everywhere else in the US is a no-no. Story 8. Walk around naked. There's places for it. The annual naked bike ride in Burlington, VT, is a thing. There's something like that in Seattle too. At least there used to be. Pretty weird to see as a 10-year-old on a family trip. I forgot about it until reading your comment. Haha. Story 9. You can't leave your baby unattended while shopping, etc. Like in some Scandinavian countries, you will get arrested. Wait, you can do that in some places? Like, I wouldn't necessarily be worried about my baby being stolen, but they're basically little suicide machines. Story 10. Get out of your car and approach the cop when being stopped by a cop unless told to. This is a good one. It's a great way to get tased, pepper sprayed, or shot in the worst case scenario. Story 11. Don't misunderstand the massive scale of the country. You will not be able to visit Vegas, Disney World, and the Statue of Liberty in a single one-week trip without taking several planes. The 48 contiguous United States is nearly twice the size of the EU by area. It is fucking massive, and a lot of shit is really far apart. In some states, you can drive for 8+ hours and not leave the state. Like, we have states the size of some of the other countries. I have a friend from America who thought she was going to visit me in Santa Barbara, and I would just drive to her to have dinner with her friend in San Diego, then out to Vegas for the night. That's an East versus West thing. In the Northeast, it's fairly doable to start the day in Boston, spend most of the day in New York, then spend the night in Philly. Story 12. Do not argue, fight, run away from law enforcement. Shut up, stay put, and talk to your lawyer. You ain't arguing your way out of that situation, Sylvester Stallone. Better call Saul. Story 13. When someone asks you, hey, how are you doing? You shouldn't take that question literal unless you are close to that person. I found that people ask it out of politeness and not because they want you to tell them your sob story or that your day sucked. It's the same in England. It literally just means hi. It took me a while to figure out you alright means hi. Asking that in the US means you think something is wrong and you're concerned. Story 14. Take sticker price at the store as the final price. Tax is calculated at the register because it varies by city, county, state, etc. Come to NH or for the other states with no sell tax. The price on the sticker is the price you pay. Story 15. Answer the police without a lawyer. Last year I was falsely accused of stealing from a job I quit after 2 weeks. Subcontractor, provided my own tools, nothing to steal. The cops called me about 15 times trying to get me to come in for an interview. A lawyer friend said that if they really want to talk to you, they'll come and get you. They have your address. They gave up eventually. What would have happened if you did go there? Just a waste of time? Story 16. Call someone a cunt. That's always my first warning if someone is coming in from Europe or Australia. For your information, that word is taken a lot differently here. However, the fanny is the backside here in the USA. Story 17. If or when you're pulled over, always remain calm. Keep your hand on the wheel, or at least in view. Do not make any sudden movements. Always tell the officer before you grab something. Don't try to be a sovereign citizen, just cooperate. Don't let them search you without a warrant or their supervisor present. Do not in any way incriminate yourself, as they need to have probable cause to search. Somehow, if you're arrested, remain silent and ask for an attorney, even if you've done nothing wrong. Just remember, anything you say can and will be used in court. And to add to this, if an officer interrogated you without reading you your Miranda rights, laws that require you to be told anything you say may be used against you in court, you can use that against them. However, to define it better, the cop asking about the weather is an interrogation. The cop asking how you killed the man before would be. Story 18. Unless you are actively dying, do not ride in an ambulance. It will cost you so much money. If you need to get to the hospital, it's better to take a bus, taxi, or Uber. We sincerely appreciate you taking the time to watch our YouTube video. If you find our content helpful and enjoyable, please click the subscribe button to stay updated on any new videos we share in the future. Thank you once again, and we hope to see you in our next upcoming videos.